everyone, welcome to Gosport Railworks. My name is James, and today we're doing another train pack review because it has been a very long time since we last did one. Today we're looking at the Graham Ferris / Bachmann Pride of Britain train pack, which commemorates the achievements of Captain Tom Moore during the pandemic when he raised money for the NHS. And so we'll be looking at this train pack today. And as you can see, it has a Class 66 inside, and also features two World War II aircraft, a Spitfire and a Hurricane, which we'll go into in a moment. But first, let's look at the boring bits and also the outside of the packaging. So the product code, if I can get it all in focus, there we go, it is 371396K. A Graham Ferris N scales, well, so it says N scale 6-pin DCC, which is what the Class 66 has, and you see what's on the other side. Contains a Class 66-7 with running number 66731, named Captain Tom Moore, and two easy model aircraft of a Spitfire number MK356 and Hurricane LF363. And it's the Pride of Britain Captain Tom Moore Special Edition. And that's pretty much what it says on all the other sides. So just quickly show you. Yep, that's what it all looks like on the outside. On the back, however, I'm going to have to try and read this upside down. Or I can read it on the camera. Right. Pride of Britain Captain Tom Moore Special Edition pack. Right. Pride of Britain train pack honours the outstanding efforts and achievements of the NHS and all key workers during the COVID-19 pandemic. Containing a Class 66 diesel locomotive and two model aircraft, proceeds from the sale of this pack will be donated to the NHS charities together. I won't go further into it because that's going to be a long read and my voice is already going. So I'll just hold that just carefully just so you can have a read. Yeah, that's probably the best way to read it. I'll hold that a little bit, and if you want to read it, just pause the video. But otherwise, we'll have a look on the inside. But also to note on the back is we have the diagram of Class 66, diagram of the Hurricane, and of the Spitfire. And I actually do know my World War II aircraft, so I can actually tell you a bit more about the aircraft as well. But, well, about marks anyway. But anyway, let's open it up. Oh. Carefully. There we go. Bit of a suction there. Right. Initially, on the inside, you have this very nice, delicately, well, I don't say delicately, but nicely printed display of "Thank you, LHS" in a cardboard thing. It displays the Hurricane here, the Spitfire there, and the Class 66 here. Now, do note this is not a review of the Class 66, just of the train pack. So, if you want to know a bit more about the Class 66, watch the review after this one. It also does say Pride of Britain 66731 Captain Tom Moore at the bottom here. Right, and it does have a little plastic cover you can take off. That keeps everything dust free. Right, we'll have a quick look on the bottom first. Right, on the bottom, ooh, I'm being beeped up. I'll just take, I'll take all of them. Right, there we go. Right, I'll get to them in a moment. Right, on the very bottom, we have the detail pack and also the display stands for the aircraft, which have their own little. They also have their own little display plates as well. So that's for the Spitfire, and the one for the Hurricane will be in there. This is the detail pack for the actual locomotive. So we have etched nameplates there, some spare couple of couplings, more couplings there, more piping, and some other things with some. Oh, it says on here, some extra bits on the buffer beam. So I'll pop that to the side here. I'll have to retape that. And paperwork on the inside. Right, you get your usual Class 66 owner's guide, basically saying the detail pack, running in and all that lot. Won't go much into it because it's not a review for the Class 66. You get a certificate of authenticity, always nice to have. So this just says this is a official product and all that lot. And you have the warranty, which you won't go into. I'll stick that back on when I'm cleaning up. Right. For the actual contents of the pack itself. Right, we'll go on about the aircraft first. So this is a Hurricane Mark II-C. It is very nicely detailed. I say nicely detailed. It's not the finest detail, but not like the Class 66. But this is coming from train company, so can't get all the details exact. But it does have enough details. The only moving part is the propeller. But yeah, this is a Mark II-C, which means it's a cannon-armed Hurricane. It has 4 Hispano 20mm cannons. Has a Merlin class 20. Sorry, stop saying class. Mark 20 engine. Yeah, very nice aircraft. I do have in a game that I play. I have a Hurricane 2B, which is the 8 machine gun armed Hurricane. Does have the landing gear already extended out. However, this does not move whatsoever, and neither do the wheels. There is the mounting point for the display stand. Yeah, it's fairly decently detailed. Can't spot anything out of the ordinary. The only thing to note is that the wireless aerial here, it's normally in real life it would actually have something extending over here sometimes. It was slightly bent. I'm not too sure I did that or anything else, but yeah, it does bend back into the right spot with careful persuasion. You do get the mold lines hit, but that's actually the connection lines there because it's made in several pieces. But yeah, the molded detail is quite nicely done. Transfers are nicely, well, not transfers, but the printing and other details are nicely applied. And I think that's I don't want to say it's a B, it looks more like a Hornet. This decal on the front is nicely applied as well. And so is all the squadron numbers, the RAF roundel, and the aircraft number here is also nicely done too. Yeah, that's quite nicely done. I'm quite pleased with that. The only thing is, this is what scale is it? I think it's I think it did say in the box at some point. I'll have a quick look at what the scale is, but it's definitely not N scale. Let me have a quick look. I don't want to go to the Backman's thing, thank you. But yeah, it's definitely not N scale. But before we get into that, we'll go on to the Spitfire. So I did have to double check what type of Spitfire, but I know it's a Merlin powered Spitfire, Rolls-Royce Merlin, Mark 66. The way you can tell is that the Griffin engines have more engine. Basically, I'd have lumps over the engine space. But yeah, this is a Mark. Was it a Spitfire LF9E? So it has 2 Hispanic cannons, and unfortunately, what is missing is the 50 caliber machine gun ports. Because on the real one, you are going to have machine gun ports, one here for the 50 caliber guns. So there is an oversight on this model, but otherwise it is a very nice looking model. But I have to note that the canopy looks a bit I don't know, it looks a bit odd because it looks a bit oversized, but it may just be that on the real ones it is actually more flush with things. But let me just see what the scale is. But again, the propeller does move, but it's a bit more stiff than compared to the Hurricane, which is a bit unfortunate. Again, molded detail quite nicely. Printing, again, nice and in place. But other than the missing machine gun ports, it's still a rather nice aircraft. And again, printing done nicely as well. Let me here we go. It has they are 172nd scale. So yes, much too big for end gauge. You can actually get well, the closest scale for end gauge would be 1 to 144 scale, which is what I've got here. That is a swordfish aircraft, and that's how big it will be compared to, well, roughly how big it will be compared to the Class 66. I do like the swordfish, and that does have spinning propeller as well, but that's nothing to do with this product. But given comparison, these are quite oversized. You can, like I said, you can get Hurricanes and Spitfires in the scale, and in my opinion, it would have been better to have it matching the scale, because with another train pack, which I know of, it has scaled aircraft to go with a scaled train. So yeah, a little. Something which could have been done a bit better, but considering that 1/72nd scale is probably a bit more commercially available, probably no surprising that they went with these aircraft instead. And here is the main piece to the kit, well, not kit, pack, which is the Class 66. And I will have to say, I don't like the Class 66 itself, but I do like this one because it's Captain Tom Moore for the NHS. But as you can see, printing is nicely done. I'm not going to go into a full review of the actual engine, but I will at least look at delivery because it's the unique part of this train pack. And as you can see, it's all nicely printed, very clean, and very unique as well. I'm quite happy with that. It's also quite easy to DCC. You just slide the body off and well, basically get a nail under, slide the body off, do mind the wires, and then pop in a 6-pin decoder. But yeah, very nicely detailed, and is a very nice weighty engine, and will pull whatever you put behind it. But again, not a review of this, but yeah. So the only downsides which I can say is, well, first of all, good bits, very nice detailed model, nice thoughtful things for the two aircraft. However, the main side I can say is you can't really, other than displaying them, you can't really have them on your layout. That's meant to be there, so yeah, you can't really have them displayed on your layout because they're overscaled. And that's the main bad thing I can say about it, other than the extra bits of these being too big, means that the box is bigger than it really needs to be, because you could probably make the box smaller if you had correctly scaled aircraft. But that's the only bad thing I can say, because the engine runs. I know it runs because I've run it around before, and the display aircraft so other than looking nice, that's all they're meant to do. For the models, these two models themselves, the only thing I can say of is there's a few discrepancies in the details, because like I said, that's missing machine gun ports, and that's, well, and both of them could use a bit more detail, but I said they're meant to be extras, so it's not really anything to really fuss about. That's really it, really. Overscaled aircraft and missing a bit of detail on there. That's it. For the Class 66 itself, it looks stunning. So I'm happy with that. So we'll end this with having a quick look at the engine running round on my layout. So I'll see you in a sec. Right, here we are for Class 66 now I'm out, and I'm not going to be doing a haulage test because this is just on about the actual train pack itself, not the Class 66. And I do have to say it does look rather nice. But yeah, let's have a quick go of see how well it runs. This is on DCC, so just always take that into account, but yeah, it does run rather nicely. I'm going to give it a bit more speed. There we go. And here it comes. When I go on to the actual review of Class 66, I'll go on about slow speed and that lot, but this is just on about this particular one. And so it does look very nice going round. Now, on to the main question, when I can park it. Right, main question. How much does this train pack cost? It costs about just under £190, but we'll take into account of how, well, basically all the little extras that you get inside. So we get the locomotive itself, which, well, from what I've looked up, is £150 on its own. So that's the bulk of the cost. And for the aircraft, they're not die-cast, so they're not going to be the most expensive. They are made out of plastic. So we'll give them probably about 25 to 30 each. So you do at least get your money's worth. And there is also the satisfaction that part of your part of the price goes to the NHS. So I don't know how much actually goes to the NHS, but at least some portion does get donated to the NHS. So there is that to take into account as well. So you do, you do get your money's worth at least. So yeah, so it's not a bad pack, and if you're a fan of Class 66s, this is probably something which you're going to be, I don't want to say clamouring for, but quite interested in at least, because it's a very unique livery. You can only get this livery in this train pack, but I do know DAPO have their own one, and I do know it's cheaper, so it's up to you if you prefer the DAPO one, where again money goes to the NHS, or the Farish one, which again goes to the NHS, and also you get 2 aircraft as well. However, the aircraft, you can probably hang them above your layout, but again they're not to scale, and they're not the most detailed of models. I said most of the money would have been spent on the Class 66. So it's up to you if you find the aircraft of any value. I don't mind them. I do like. Sorry, I just noticed something. I do like my World War II aircraft, though I would like more scaled aircraft, because I do want to get some scale aircraft as well. Same scale as this, that is. So yeah, do let me know what you think. Is this train pack worth it? Have you got a train pack yourself if you're into diesels? Well, into Class 66s, but yeah. Again, let me know what you think. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do like it, feel free to like, comment and subscribe. And if you didn't like it, well, I hope you enjoy it anyway. And if you want to know more about the Class 66, do stay tuned for the next review, which will be on about the actual locomotive itself. Otherwise, I hope to see you all again next time. And yeah, take care now. Bye-bye.